people in history to visit all 197 countries in the world. Drew first got his travel bug after studying abroad in Prague during his junior year of college. Shortly after graduating from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, he took a job as an English teacher in South Korea, where he lived for 2 years. During that time, he started a travel blog, which evolved into making travel videos on social media. And his main goal is to inspire others to travel, because the world is a beautiful place and traveling is the best education that you can have. Please welcome Drew Binsky.
What's up, Phoenix? I'm actually from here. That's really cool. I've never done an event, a meetup, or anything in my own hometown. Raise your hand if you're from Phoenix. Whoa. Raise your hand if you're from a different country. Which country? Serbia. Wow, it's one of my favorites. Just shout out the country.
Korea.
Oh, cool. What other countries?
UK.
Nice.
Australia.
Australia. Which part?
Brisbane.
That's cool. Any other countries?
Colombia.
Where?
Medellin.
Nice. So thank you guys for coming. This is really special. I'm in the middle of a book tour. Like, we started in Berlin, then we went to LA, SF, Seattle. Now we're here, and then we're going to Austin, Chicago, Miami, New York, Manila, all in like 2 weeks. So it's pretty exhausting, but it's a lot of fun. And I was mostly looking forward to this event because I grew up here, and it's really special to be here. So I wrote a book. It's called Just Go. Hopefully you guys have it. I think there was a little shortage of books, but if you didn't get it today, you'll get it if you put your address. It was just it's a fun way for me to tell stories that's not through videos on YouTube, because YouTube videos are like in the air, it's not a tangible thing. So it's cool to like hold a book, have stories that you can read on a plane or in a car or wherever. And it's mostly like untold stories from some of the world's most dangerous countries like Yemen, Afghanistan, Syria, Somalia, which I'm happy to answer questions about after this chat. And it's a fun read. It's about 200 pages. There's a lot of pictures in it, and I think you guys will enjoy it. My reason for writing it is to hopefully inspire you to travel. So the moment you put the book down, it would be great if you guys like booked a flight or got in a car and drove somewhere. That's like the main motive, because I think traveling makes all of us wiser and smarter and more well-rounded people. So it's cool. I'm seeing some familiar faces in here, including my parents. Mom, come here. Mom and Dad, come here for 1 second. You just didn't say hi. You don't have to do a speech. These are my parents. I wouldn't be anywhere without them. They're my biggest supporters. Say something. Just say hi.
Thanks everybody for coming and supporting Drew. We're so proud of him, and it's so nice to be here in Phoenix.
Hi, Dad.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming, supporting Drew. Ellen said everything, so.
They weren't expecting to be on stage.
I do have a lot of gray hair. I know a lot of you question about going to all these places, and I have to get it colored all the time. Some of the places are scary, and we do get very nervous, but we trust him, and he's a great communicator, so that's how we do it.
Thank you for coming out.
Okay.
Love you. I've traveled with them to like maybe 15 countries now. When I lived in Korea, they visited me in Seoul, and then we've been to Asia like 3 or 4 times, separate trips, and then Europe a couple times, and hopefully an African safari in December, and in Dubai. I want to take them there. So yeah, instead of me just kind of rambling about like my childhood and stuff, I think there was a great introduction that I heard already. I want to do a Q&A because I want to answer everyone's question if you have one, and then after that, I'm going to sign some books on that table, and we can take selfies, and you can ask me more questions also over there while I'm signing your book. But if you have the courage to ask me literally anything you want, now's the time. I think we have a mic coming around right behind you. Oh, when you get the mic, please say your name and where you're from, and then ask a question. Yes, right here.
I'm Brad, and I'm from here.
What's up, Brad?
So my question is, throughout all your travels, how have you helped someone through a dark time in life, like someone you knew?
Like myself or someone else?
Like someone you knew, like you met like in another country, and they came to you with like something that happened to them.
It's hard for me I usually make friends for like a day or two and then I leave them, so it's hard to like have a lot of time with them, but I think just having a cultural exchange, usually they're from a different country, and just sharing positive things. I have heard a lot of people that have struggles and dark times, but I just try to bring happiness to them and make them smile. That's all that I really can do. And I think the stories that I tell are usually really positive about other countries and cultures, and that also, makes them happy. So it's a tough question to answer. Thank you for asking though.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Please don't be shy. I'm here to answer your question. Let's go right here first, and then over there.
Hi, my name is
Where are you from? Las Vegas? Nice.
My question is, what's it like when you have to get like shots in the arm, going to different countries and like drinking water in like foreign countries?
Yeah, good question. I've had a lot of shots, vaccines, like yellow fever. In order to travel in sub-Saharan Africa, you need yellow fever vaccine. I don't even know what that means, but I have it. It lasts for 10 years, so I think I'm actually due to get another one. I have like hepatitis A, hepatitis B. It's all good. I don't know what other shots I have, but yeah, it's just I just get them if I need them to travel. And the other question was water, bottled water only. Like even sometimes when I brush my teeth, I use bottled water, but I still end up getting sick. Food poisoning from whatever. It's tough to not get sick if you're not used to eating the food in other countries, you know? Bacteria, whatever is in it, different spices. But yeah, water's, like drinking bottled water is number one most important thing. Good question, thank you. Yes, we'll go you, and then you have one as well, right? Yes, please say your name and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Jenna, and I'm here with my travel advisor friends. So,
Hi, travel advisor friends.
my
and
question
Jenna.
for you is, when do you plan your own travel versus using a travel advisor for your trips? And what would you find the benefits to be of using a travel advisor?
Thanks for the question. I do everything myself from the beginning. I even book hotels. Now on the app of I'm a Marriott high status, I just literally press one button and the hotel's booked. Or if I do Airbnb, I like to know where I'm staying, so I will book it myself. I do have a travel agent. He's in Switzerland and he's really good at hacking. I just recently on Turkish Airline, I opened up a new account and I took one business class flight and I got gold status on Star Alliance through one flight. He's like a major hacker. I don't know how to do all that stuff, so I just follow what he tells me. And so I think people, if you're serious about traveling, finding someone who's really smart with hacking like that. But I just do it, I'm going to China in 10 days and I haven't booked anything yet, but I will book it myself as I go on. So that's a really good question. Maybe you can help me with some of my bookings.
We saw you use the travel advisor for Antarctica, and I think we might know him. So,
Maynard?
He's in Virtuoso with his our.
Yeah. So for big trips like that, I have to go with a company. I'm not even able to book that by myself. So for those huge trips, I use a specific agent. But yeah, other than that, I just book everything myself. And I kind of do everything last minute, so if somebody books it weeks in advance and I end up changing it, then I'd rather just do it myself. Good question. Thanks for asking. Yes, champions. What team is that? Cardinals. Cardinals. What champion did they win? You mean the NFC champion? 2006. Got it. Or 2009 or 6?
2009.
Sorry, 2009. Yes.
But my name's Cameron. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and what I wanted to ask was, having visited all 197 countries, all 50 states, what made you want to stay here in Arizona?
That's a good question. I currently live here. I bought a house during COVID because I was living in Asia for 7-8 years. I was in Korea, then Thailand, Vietnam, and Philippines. And then when COVID hit, it was a good time to buy a house, and it was stuck in the US, and I just said, okay, might as well buy a house here. I knew that I'd always come back here because my parents are here. This is where I grew up, and I like to play golf a lot when I'm not traveling. So it's a good place to be, and it's close to LA, which I go often just for work reasons and visiting friends, and Vegas is around the corner. It's a really great place to be, and in the wintertime, it's amazing. I'm a snowbird now. The whole summer, I'm going to be in Europe starting in a few weeks, the whole summer. But it's great to be here. It's an awesome place, and I think it's one of the best places to live in the country. Really. Yeah. Do you agree?
I do agree.
Okay, good. Because you're by the mic, we'll go you, and then this guy over here.
My name's Jeff. I'm from here. I guess this is kind of a two-part question. Did you begin your travel journey wanting to visit all the countries? And if you did, or if you didn't, I guess when did that kind of become the goal? And second question is, now that you've completed that goal, I know we're here talking about that, have you set a new goal and kind of what there, because obviously it doesn't sound like you're going to stop traveling, but is there a new goal that you set for yourself, and what is that?
Thanks for the question. When I was living in Korea, I was teaching English for 2 years, and I started a travel blog, and then I just kind of discovered other travelers who went to every country, and I discovered a guy named Lee, who's actually my best friend now, but he visited all the countries when he was 30. And at the time, he was the youngest American to do it. And I was like 21 when I was reading his blog. And I was living in Korea, and I was at about 45 countries. And I was like, okay. And I contacted him, and he was like, you should try to break my record. That was like the actual first time that I decided to do it. And then as I kept traveling, I would just attack regions at a time. So if I went to Central Asia, I would just like hit all the countries and then go back to where I was living in Korea or Thailand or Vietnam. And then I would go to the next region, let's say it's East Africa. Now I've taken like 20 different trips to Africa, but at the beginning I would just strategically try to hit them all. And then I finished in October 29th, 2021 in Saudi Arabia. And then the second part to the question was, what's next? Keep traveling, keep telling stories, maybe on a higher level, longer documentaries, which my team and I have been doing, I think, at a better rate than we were before, like 30, 40-minute videos, and then just about like different cultures. I have a list of stories I want to tell. It's just, I got to tell them. I'm trying to tell like better stories every time. And then I also want to visit all the unrecognized countries. For example, Western Sahara, it's just south of Morocco, or Morocco would claim it is part of Morocco. That's a place I want to visit. There's a bunch of other ones around the world that, like for example, French Guyana is technically France. On paper, it's France, but it's in South America and it has nothing to do culturally with France. They use the euro, they speak French, but like, if you go into a village, it's not going to feel like France. So I want to visit those places. Aruba is another example. That's actually the Netherlands, technically, but it's not. It's just like, it's different. So there's a lot more. It's like the second tier to visit every country is like the unrecognized countries. So that'll take a while, but I don't want to go to every country twice, but I've been to many countries. I like maybe 80 countries I've revisited, something like that. Thanks for the question. Yes.
Should I just
Do you have a loud voice?
wait for the mic?
Yeah, sure.
I'll wait for it.
Cool. Name and from?
Hey Drew, my name's Will. I'm from Phoenix. My question for you, I'm curious, amongst your travels as an American national, how wary were you in telling people that you met during your travels that you were an American national?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I'm not really shy about that or the fact that I'm Jewish. I always tell that to people, even in countries like Syria, and most of the time they just don't really care. They think it's cool. It's really just governments that have problems. So like, yeah, I can't even think of an example where I wouldn't tell someone I'm American. Like maybe right now in the current state in Russia and some places in Moscow, I wouldn't advertise it. But even if I talk to them one-on-one, they love Americans like in Russia. I spent weeks traveling there and they love the music, the movies, so they're more like fascinated by it. But yeah, I haven't really had to hide the fact that I'm American. I don't wear like a US flag on my shirt. But like, it's usually not a problem. Like people, and even if they don't like America, they won't to my face like spit on me or anything. It's just like, yeah, they just be respectful. Yeah, good question.
Thank you.
Yes, in the green shirt.
Hi Drew, I'm Julie, originally from LA, I live here now. Aside from, I think you said South Korea, where you lived for a while, where have you spent the most time? And are there countries where you've just kind of popped in and popped out and
Definitely.
given a check?
Yeah, I lived in Prague cumulatively for about a year, and I'm about to spend 3 more months there. I really like Prague, so that's probably where I spent the most time. Philippines, I spent like 2 years living there, but I was in and out, but those 2 countries probably. And yeah, I try to spend a week in each country on average. It comes down to around that, but some countries are really small, like San Marino or Monaco or Liechtenstein, that like you can just get lunch and then you get really bored and then there's nothing else that you want to do. But yeah, like all the harder countries to visit, let's say like Venezuela or Saudi Arabia, I spent like multiple weeks in all those countries just to be able to document and stuff. A couple countries I breezed through, like I did a West African road trip through like those 10 countries from Nigeria to Senegal, and we would spend like, I drove through the whole country of Guinea-Bissau, but they're tiny countries, they're like Connecticut or something. So I spent the night there, and I saw the whole country, and then I left. So yeah, like I didn't feel like I needed to do anything more there, but in other countries I spent a lot of time in. And I keep revisiting ones that I like, Egypt or China, I'm going back to see other parts, so I just try to keep it interesting.
Island nations also, Comoros, Seychelles?
Yeah, all those island nations, like in the Pacific, I would say on average 3 nights. But like the country of Nauru, which is the least visited country in the world, I walked the perimeter of that island like 3 times, so in 3 days. Like what else am I gonna do? There's like 10,000 people on the island. And I'm not one to sit on the beach. I really don't like beaches. I mean, I like to look at them, but then they're boring. So yeah, the countries that I want to spend more time in, I did. And some countries like Brazil, China, India, they're huge. So you keep going back and you see different places, including the US, Canada. Yeah, good question, thank you. Yes, sir.
I stay out here in Phoenix now, not originally from here.
Where are you from?
California.
That's okay.
My question is, we're about to go to Dubai, and I know that you just mentioned that you would like to take your parents back to Dubai or to Dubai. What lights you up about Dubai?
Dubai's great. I've been maybe like 15 times. First time I went was when the bird was just finished in 2011. I remember standing in front of it and they were just like putting the top parts to it. Yeah, I think it's a great place because it's in the center of the world. So for traveling, for my lifestyle, it's really convenient because within a 5-hour radius, like it could be in Europe, I could be in East Africa, I could be in Asia, I could be in India, Iran, which are all places that I like to go and tell stories. So it makes a lot of sense for me to like base myself there for some time. But it's a conglomerate of cultures. Only 9% of the country is actually Emiratis, who are the local people. 9%. 91% are mostly Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, and Nepalese. And then there's a lot of Brits, Germans, French, like Europeans. So it's just like, it's a young, energetic, up and coming, it's not even up and coming, like everyone knows about Dubai. It's world's biggest everything. It's a great place for kids, there's amusement parks, there's great beaches, good nightlife. It's really safe. It's extremely safe in Dubai. My parents will find out when I take them there. And it's good networking, a lot of travelers. It's like any kind of cuisine, like any food. So I really like it. I like big cities and it's a really cool place to be. So that's why. I think you'll love it. It's extremely safe there. I think there's a misconception about Dubai. Yes, with the hat.
Okay, so when you have a limited amount of time in a country, what resources do you use for inspiration to plan your time in a country? Like how do you plan like for a small amount of time in a country?
I'm currently planning my China trip. I'm just focused on telling the story, so I find a local friend that I connect with before, and then they kind of help guide. They know what I'm doing, obviously shooting a story, and I have limited time, so it's kind of spontaneous, but we know what places we want to go and what we're trying to do, and the rest is all random. But yeah, that's a hard question because every country is different. But right now, when I travel, I just focus on telling stories basically, and I don't have much free time, so we just kind of, well, it is free time, but we focus on the story. So, for example, like in a couple of weeks, I'm going to China, and I'm going to do I'm doing many stories, but there's one about the new world's biggest city, which most people haven't heard of. In fact, raise your hand if you've heard of the city called Chongqing. Raise your hand. Okay, so less than half people in here. Chongqing is now the biggest city in the world. It's 36 million people there. It's in central China, exactly. It's just past Tokyo. Because China now, they've included some of the greater metropolitan area of Chongqing, so there's 36 million. So I'm gonna go there with my friend, and we kind of have different beats of the story that we want to do, and we're just gonna go there and shoot it. And so I keep it open-ended, but that's kind of the main point. Yeah, but in the earlier days, it was different when I wasn't doing YouTube videos. I had more like leisure time. Yeah. Where's the mic at? Okay, great. Let's go right here.
Hi, I'm Jonathan from Phoenix. What is people's reaction when you say you're from Arizona specifically?
That's a really good question.
Do you
I was just talking about this.
Do you do anything to act kind of as an ambassador for Arizona?
I'm wearing a Coyotes hat right now, the extinct hat. Everyone has heard of Arizona. Like, very few times people are like, I mean, it's not like Iowa or Nebraska or Arkansas. Those states might not be known. But everyone knows Arizona because of Grand Canyon, so these are the first thing they say, oh, Grand Canyon. And they say, where is it? And I say, it's next to California, which is easy for them to, So yeah, I think Arizona is a cool place to be from because everyone's heard of it. Did you ask another question, or is that the only one?
Yeah, and like, do you kind of promote Arizona at all, or is it not really?
I don't really promote it, like not in my videos at least. In real life, I talk about it, but I haven't made content here really because when I'm home, I hibernate. Thanks for the question. Hi.
Hi, I'm Leslie. I'm from Phoenix, and my question is: if you travel solo, which I imagine you travel solo quite a bit, what tips do you have for like going into a new place, a new situation, and connecting with people so you're not alone all the time?
Are you asking for yourself as a traveler?
I'm asking how you do that a lot. How do you go in?
I'm lucky enough that I can use Instagram to like reach out to people, and I usually find locals that way, or I did. But now I'm pretty connected with friends or friends of friends in countries, or word of mouth, like, hey, I'm going to Uzbekistan. Oh, you should be my friend. So I'm like plugged into the travel space in that regard. But my parents have used toursbylocals.com, and they swear by it. So basically, it's a website where you just say, I'm going to Japan or Tokyo, and then you can find locals in that city, and then you pay them, it was like $100 a day or $300 a day, whatever they charge, and then they'll be with you the whole time. So I've actually never used it, but that's a great resource, maybe for you, if you wanted to use it. How else do I meet people? Sometimes I just go to my hotel and then say, hey, do you have any friends that would show me around? And that usually works too. People are generally really friendly and like they're dying to share their culture with you, but the hardest part is just to find the right people. So it's intimidating to go to a country and not know someone, but it's always easy to meet someone when you get there. Does that make sense? Yeah. Thanks for the question. Yes, him, and then we'll go over here.
Hi, Drew. Thank you for coming. And
Thanks for coming as well.
Thank you. My name is Josh, and I grew up here in Phoenix as well. And so I had a question, kind of based off of something else you said. You talked about it's no secret governments cannot be friendly sometimes, and you probably had interactions where that was the case. Do you have any advice for how to diffuse a situation like that?
When I'm talking to governmental officials?
Yeah.
I just stay really quiet. Like, for example, Iran and Afghanistan, when there's a lot of checkpoints. Not really Iran and Afghanistan. When you move anywhere, there's like every 10 miles there's a checkpoint, like makeshift checkpoint, like a little rope and like a guy, bulletproof vest with a gun, and he asks you for your passport. I don't say anything. My Afghan friend who I was with, does all the talking, and I just nod and like shake. There's no reason for me to say anything. So I just try to just be really respectful and just really, and I usually dress with local attire with like a turban or the outfit that they wear, and just kind of sneak in.
What's your opinion on the airport rule?
Like counting it as a country?
Yeah.
Airports don't count. I mean, like, if you have an overnight layover and you leave the airport, it definitely counts. But if you just stay in the airport, you're not, by law, you're not stamped into the country. So you're not actually, it's like no man's land, airports. Yeah, like when you go buy food in the airport, you're talking to someone from that country and maybe using the money. You're probably not using the money, but that doesn't count. I mean, you have to get a passport stamp and have an experience. That's like, well, yeah. But I'm glad we got that debate over. Yes, hi, what's your name?
I'm Victor, and I live here in Phoenix, but I grew up in the wonderful Imperial Valley, which can put the Sahara to shame. So I wanted to point out the top of page 91, Drew's very fine book, where he mentions couch surfing. And I have a lot of experience using couch surfing all over the
You
world.
host or you go?
Both.
Wow.
Both. So it's started about 15 years ago. It's all over the world. In fact, I think it's more in Europe than it is here. And they have local activities, so they go onto their website as a member, and they say, we're having coffee in this coffee shop tonight. And you can stay for free with people, or you can have people stay with you for free.
Yes.
So I think it's a great way to go, and there's a small cost to join, but it's not very much.
It used to be free for a long time.
It was free for a long time.
Has everyone heard of couch surfing? Yeah, I've couch surfed in maybe 10 countries kind of earlier on. And I thought every time I did it, like Slovenia and Japan and in Thailand, my first time I did it, I think it's great. It's a great way to meet people. That's cool that you host. Do a lot of travelers come here?
Since I'm in a relationship now, I don't host here. I did most of my hosting in Shanghai.
Did you find value in hosting or traveling or both?
Both.
Both. Yeah, it's really cool to meet people through couchsurfing. I think it's a great community.
So I hosted somebody in Shanghai, and then 2 years, later, I bought them dinner they bought me dinner in Buenos Aires. So, it's like you said, you make a friend for life, even though you just met over a couple of days.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. What's going on, man? How are you?
Good. I'm TJ, also a local, and this question's pertaining to Mama and Papa.
Should I bring them up?
Yeah, actually.
By the way, TJ's a traveler. He's been you're like what, 18 now?
20 now.
You were 16.
Yeah.
I made a video on him when he was 16. And how many languages can you speak?
12 fluently.
12 fluently. Good to see you, man. And Now, where have you been recently?
Yeah, so your son travels a lot to very dangerous countries,
Yes.
and my mother, she's getting a lot of gray hair thanks to me. So is my, yeah. So
he lost his hair.
yeah, so I was just in Russia and Israel last month, back to back, and the longest I've lasted without telling my parents is about a week. I went to Russia last August, and I didn't want my mom to like lose sleep, but eventually she did. So like, how do you guys deal with your son going on these?
Well, do you know the North Korea story?
Yeah.
So
Well,
for those of you that don't know, I asked him not to go to North Korea at the beginning of his travels. I specifically said that, and so he said, I'm going to China and I won't have Wi-Fi for a couple days. He is very good at communicating. So I said, okay, fine, that's fine. Well, he comes back and I was like, how was your trip to China? And he's like, well, I have to tell you something. I went to North Korea. And I was like, what? And I gave my husband the phone and I was like, I can't talk to you. And I did not talk to him for a week. And every day he called and I said, Drew, I can't talk to you. Like, I don't know what else you're gonna do. I asked you not to go. And of course, Danny was like, tell me all about it. What did you say? You know.
That's a lot easier to talk to about this stuff.
Because he was already back.
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, he's not dead.
She ran upstairs and was crying, literally for a week, didn't talk to him.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cool. You know, because I was talking to him, so it's like, but you know, originally when he started doing this, I would wake up every morning before I went to work and I would check the news online to make sure the planes didn't crash and just shit, because it's like, because some of the things that he does, but now you keep numb to it after a while. He communicates a lot, and he's pretty good at that.
He's very, that's it. He's very good communicating. And actually, we don't really have a choice. I mean, he's like, I'm going here, I'm going there.
33-year-old man now.
Sometimes he doesn't tell us how dangerous it is until he gets back. And then I'm like, oh, Drew, I can't believe you went through that. As a mom, you have, you know, sympathy. I don't want him to have some of those problems that he had. I mean, the attack when he had the bus accident in India, right? We just had to come home because that was really scary.
Like,
And he did.
Yeah. I was just in Israel when the Iranian missile strike happened,
Yeah.
so imagine how my parents reacted.
It is. And,
There's a reason I'm here. Not
I watch, yeah. But he communicates a lot, so we know he's safe. And, yeah, key. But it's not always so easy, but we're very proud of him, and so he's got all the countries now.
He still has all 4 limbs.
Yeah.
I'm going to the China-North Korea border in like 10 days.
Okay,
I'm coming up for the first time right now. But I'm not crossing into North Korea, just the China border now.
Great.
I really just told them for the first time. Thanks for the questions, TJ. Is there more? There has to be more questions.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good.
Where you from?
I'm from here. I'm
Nice.
Marcus. So my question, I watch all your videos, and every time you get like tame, or maybe they're trying to bribe you for some money, your video's like, oh, 1 or 2 minutes, kind of an afterthought. Kind of got out of it. Is it really that easy to get out of these
No.
situations?
In the video, I don't want to like, and AJ's standing back, he's my production manager, so we always have these conversations on like, how do we tell these stories properly. I don't want like, I pay a lot of bribes because that's just the reality of traveling in places in Africa. Like, they won't let you go until you pay them. They'll sit there all day until you pay them. But like, I don't want to just be seen as this white guy in Africa that's like giving bribes to like get through, because they just get bad feedback, and also that's not the story I'm trying to tell. So usually like, we'll like touch raise the surface depending on the story that like. In Russia, last time I went to the North Korea border was on the Russian side, and I actually got detained there for 3 hours. That was like the scariest moment probably for me. And that we kind of dwelled on that, we like went deeper into that story because it was so interesting. But for the story of these, but other times like if things happen, we try to just breeze past it, because I'm not going there to tell that story specifically. I have other missions, so I try to focus on the overarching theme of the story, and if there's like little hiccups along the way, or conflict is good for storytelling, but I try to keep it brief for those moments. It's tough. It's tough.
All right, so when I go, just bring my bribe money.
Yeah, it's a really sad reality, and we don't realize it in America, but bribery is everywhere, everywhere. If you get pulled over in a police, I would say 80% of the world's countries, they're expecting you to pay them. It's not like it's rude to pay them, like, they will hold you until you pay them and then they'll go away. That's just how it is. Like, I don't know how else to say it. That's just how the world works. So, yeah.
I'm gonna be greedy here. So one more thing. Every
Yeah.
time I travel, I always come back home 10 pounds heavy. I never see you gain any weight. How in the world do you do that?
I must be blessed with a good metabolism because I don't really work out. I'm just really active. I'm walking a lot. I hike. I move. I don't really sit still. So that's maybe what it is. But I eat a lot of Asian food, and that's typically healthier than non-Asian food. So I don't know how I've been at like 150 pounds. I've gained the freshman 15 in college, and since then I haven't fluctuated much. I don't know how, but maybe when I hit a certain age, I will start gaining more weight. I don't know. I don't know how I keep it the same. Thanks for the questions. A few more questions. Right here.
Oh, hi, Drew. Hi, baby.
How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. So, two things. Number one, thank you for telling the story about the people.
Of course.
I think that opens up the world to so many people who haven't had the opportunity to travel. So one of the questions I have, I know you spend a lot of time behind the scenes creating your content. So how long does it take for you to create one of the posts that you do?
Like
So
videos?
That's the first question.
Yeah. I don't know. Like shooting the video is usually like between 24 and 72 hours. I have to shoot the story, and then editing. Oh man, like we have like an assembly line, so we have like assistant editors that we work with, and then we get all the footage. Like, let's say I shoot 20 hours of raw footage because I have a camera guy usually. Then we'll get it into a timeline that's like 6 hours long, like all the shots that we can take, and then from there it goes to the next editor. Then they get it down to like 2 hours. And once it's at about 2 hours, AJ and I, he's standing in the back, he looks at the cut first and gives notes to the editors online. Like there's a website that we use that we can just give notes on the timestamps. And then they work together, we get some voiceover, like here's where the voiceover needs to be placed. And then he's a writer, he's a better writer than me, so he writes the first and then I kind of make it in my voice. Or together we do it in tandem. And then it gets to like 1.5 hours and it gets to 1 hour. So the total amount of time is like 3 weeks? A month. With like many different editors, like when it comes like Laura, Michael, Gage, Graham, yeah, it's like a month of working together for each video. So they're like big productions now. And when people hear the word YouTuber, they just think it's like, let me just film in my backyard, which some people do. But for us, we just kind of try to take it to the next level with high production value and cinematics and graphics and motion graphics and like, yeah, it's tough. But we like the challenge because every video is different. And I'm now posting weekly. Before it was like twice a month, 3 times a month. Now we're doing weekly. So at any given time, we have like 4 videos in motion right now. So we're always reviewing cuts, and then we put our different brain on for this video, this video. And then you watch the final video. So yeah.
It's a lot of work, so thank you for doing
Yeah,
that.
thanks for asking.
The other question I have is, we've traveled a lot with our girls. They have the travel bug. Youngest, not married. What are your tips for a single woman traveling internationally?
How old?
She's 22.
22? That's a good age.
Yeah.
Has she traveled alone already?
She went to South Africa by herself.
Wow,
She met up with.
that's like the most dangerous country in Africa.
Thank you for telling me that.
No, that is the most dangerous country in Africa. South Africa.
Oh, great.
I think
So
so.
she went down and met other students there, and then they worked in different places.
Were you in Johannesburg?
Yes.
Okay, that's like the most dangerous
I
city.
know.
No, but she seems to be, she's back now, right? Okay, so thanks for the opportunity. I would recommend her to have a friend or a buddy. Traveling with one person is really ideal because you can get on the same like wavelength. If you travel with more than one person, someone wants to do something and then someone's sick, so it's better just to be in tandem with someone. Solo, yes, she could do it. Maybe some countries I would not advise her to go as a solo female traveler, but then again, I have many female friends who have been to every country solo. So it can be done, but I would recommend her to go with a friend just for safety reasons, and it's also more fun to travel with a friend. But like, has she done Europe?
Not by herself.
Okay.
With us, she has.
With you? Asia's pretty safe. Most places in Asia are really safe, like Southeast Asia, East Asia, especially like Japan, Taiwan, Korea. Those countries are like extremely safe, even Vietnam. So maybe has she been to any of those? That would be a good place to start, I think. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And
It's-
thanks for that bit of information. I'm glad I heard it after the fact.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. Yeah, we good on time? Where's the moderators?
for
Yeah.
about 20 minutes.
Of Q&A or of the whole event?
Of the whole event.
Okay, then should I start signing? I gotta sign all the books. Okay. Okay, we'll do a couple more questions, and then as I'm signing, you can just quick questions. Okay, right here.
Cindy Plunges, Horizon High School
Yes,
parent.
hi, how are you?
Tim in your class.
Good to see you.
I'm oddly fascinated and have followed you forever, so I love the fact that
Thank
you
you.
do all these things and there's not a political overtone to it. No, I'm not going to,
Okay.
because I'm super political, but I love the fact that
I'd rather
you
not talk about politics if
Right,
possible.
Antarctica, you have to talk about Antarctica, and where's the dog?
The dog is in my house, which is in North Phoenix. Actually, Deanna thought about bringing him here, but then we.
Did you introduce Deanna?
Oh, hi Deanna. She's my wife. Yeah, we've been together for 9 years and married for a few years. So I'm not gonna bring you on stage because I know you're shy, but yeah, She's the one that inspired me to make videos. But she bought me a camera when we were living in Vietnam in 2017. And then I started making videos only because she bought me a camera. So all of this goes back to her. Yes, thank you. And she's very supportive and amazing. The question was Antarctica? How was it?
I mean, clearly it was amazing.
Oh, you're going?
I am going in November, but I mean,
Are you going to the peninsula, like down from Chile?
I'm not going all the way to the pole, but I mean.
It's hard to get to the pole, yeah. It's a beautiful place. It's like there's like nature like you've never experienced, wildlife. It's really cold, so bring some jackets. But like it's interesting because there's no local population, zero. They have some scientists and like people that are stationed there, but there's no local people. So it's interesting in that regard. It's just like a huge piece of land with no people. But you'll see a lot of penguins, and it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I think it's the most beautiful, just like nature-wise in the world. That's cool. Are you going on a cruise or?
Yeah, seaborne.
Yeah, from.
I also think that your parents have to just shit a break from some of the stuff that you've done, like the train ride where you're on top of the coal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's really fun, but yeah, they get worried sometimes. But now they're numb to it, and it's okay. They trust me that I'm with good local people, and I usually am. So that's a good question. I hope you enjoy Antarctica. And thanks for coming. Yes.
I'm David from the Phoenix area. So we always watch your videos like when you're in the country. Do you have any memorable or crazy experiences just getting there? Plane rides, train rides, whatever.
A lot.
Any specific, like the most?
Crossing overland borders is really fun. It's always different. And like, I cross a lot of overland borders in Africa and in Central Asia. I want to cross the Iran-Turkmenistan border soon if I can get my visa. That would be a fun one. But it's always, yeah, just having conversation. I'm trying to think, like, I have some tough, rough stories in West Africa, but they're all on YouTube. I don't know if I need to tell them that now. Yeah, in terms of planes, like, I've had a lot of delays where I have to sleep in airports for 15 hours. Like, I slept in the Addis Ababa airport so many times. It's a terrible airport. But, like, those are not good stories, though. Yeah, I'll think about it when I send your book. I'll give you a better answer. Yeah, lots of fun moments. Yes?
Hi Drew, I'm Sandeep. I'm also from Phoenix. Just curious, is there any story you've told that you received a lot of criticism for online, and how did that change your story making in any way, or
Yeah,
how
I
did you
do.
deal with it?
Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
How did you deal with it, right? Yeah, that's my first question. My second question is, where have you felt the most uncomfortable in traveling, and where would you not want to travel again?
Good questions. I get a lot of criticism almost on every single video I upload, so it's hard to have thick skin. I mean, like I just posted a video in this favela in Brazil, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's not the most dangerous favela. You should have gone here," or "This is the wrong impression of Brazil." So, but like a good example is Russia. I did 2.5 weeks in Russia in February 2021. 1 or 22? 22, thank you. 22, and then I got back home and the war broke out, like right when I got back home. But I hadn't posted any of the videos yet. So I still ended up posting my whole Russia series while the war had just started. And so I had to have a message at the very beginning of the video saying, this was shot 2 months ago before the war. But it doesn't matter about that message, that still people were like freaking out about it. And I'm just going there to meet the people. I don't care about, I care, but it's just like a tough situation to be in. So how do I deal with it? I don't deal with it. If people say really mean comments, I just don't respond. Because it's a lose-lose for me if I respond. If it's a really insightful comment that has backlash, I will respond. So yeah, it's something that's really difficult. Like, the more in the spotlight you are, the more noise you're going to make and the more negative feedback comments you're going to get. And internet's full of trolls, so that's also like, people just sit at home and say whatever they want. So, other question was, where would I never go back? I would go back anywhere. Yeah, there's places that would be last on the list to go back, but I would still go back anywhere. Like, I wouldn't just never go back to a place. I'm banned from Syria because I went in as a tourist and I needed to go in as a journalist or like a business visa. So if they'll let me go back in, I would go, and maybe bring my mom. I actually took her in Turkey. We went to the border town of Syria, and she didn't even know that we were like driving on the border of Syria. And then I said, Mom, look, do you see that town? That's Syria. And she was like, oh my God, that's crazy. So I'll go anywhere. Yeah.
And the most culturally uncomfortable you've been?
I don't even know. I am in the zone when I'm traveling, so I feel comfortable there. Maybe some places in the US I feel culturally uncomfortable. That is an absolute truth answer, and anyone who knows me will tell you that that's the truth. Okay, I think I'll answer more questions, but as I'm signing, I can talk to everyone for a second. Is that okay? Or I don't know. I think that's a good plan. Okay, so if you have a book, do you have sticky notes to write your name on it, if you don't mind, so I can spell your name right? And then, yeah, we'll go over there. I don't know how this works, actually. It's their host manual. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. Wait. I want to take a selfie with everyone. Can you sit back down? This is not good because it's going to be too wide.
I can take it from over here.
Yeah, I think I can take it from the corner. Let me just see. I can't see you guys.
I'll stand.
Even on 0.5 mode. Okay, here I can. I can see everybody here. Okay. Ready? Hold on. Let me make sure I get the angle right. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody put our hands together for Binsky!